Alright, so here's second part. The other video I got cut off during problem number 19. So let's start with number 19. Alright, so we're simplifying. And these are these problems. Remember I was telling you guys there's four, think about it as just four pieces. I equaled I squared equaled -1, I to the third equaled -I to the fourth equaled +1. So remember I told you just grab your calculator and you're going to do 22 fraction bar 4. Well, even on my little cheap calculator here, 22 divided by 4 equals, I have 5.5. Well, all this 5 right there means is it runs through all four of these. It runs through all four of those 5 times. It cycles through 5 times. This 0.5, do you guys agree 0.5 is 1/2? Well, I told you guys it has to be something over 4. So 1/2 is actually 2 over 4. So all this 2 means is it's just going to be the second one. So I to the 22nd power is simply -1. Alright? Same thing over here. 103 divided by 4. Right? Even on this little cheap calculator. 103 divided by 4 gives me 25.75. So 25.75. Again, that 25 just means it runs through 25 times. I can care less. 0.75, think of 75 cents, or 3 out of 4 quarters. So this 3 means it's the third one. I to the I to the 103 third power is equal to -I. And then 36 divided by 4 is equal to 9. Well, you'll notice there's no fraction over here. There's no fraction over here. So just think about it as 4 over 4, because 4 over 4 is simply 1. Well, then it's going to be the fourth one. So I to the 36 is equal to 1. Alright? Nothing more to it. Alright, last problem. This is that one with the throwing a rock. Alright, so it's in standard form because I see t squared, t, and then no t. Alright, so standard form. Find the maximum height. Well, if you agree, hopefully you guys will agree the maximum height is going to be the vertex. I know this thing opens down, so the maximum height will be the vertex. And how do we find the vertex? Alright, is x is equal to -b over 2a. Well, I have x is equal to -20 over 2 times -16. X is equal to, grab my little calculator here, 2 times -16. Alright, 2 times 16 gives me 32. So I have -20 over -32. Alright, 20 divided by 32, 0.625. How do I find the y coordinate? I plug in 0.62, I plug that in. Oh, come on. I plug that in into the equation. Alright? So, I mean, you just use the calculator if you need to. Order of operations tells me I have to do exponent first. So 0.625 squared times 16, and it happens to be negative, equals. Now I'm going to add that to 20 times 0.625 equals. Add that again to 24. So my y coordinate is 30.25. Now 30.25. Alright, so what is the maximum height? What is the maximum height that this rock is going to hit? 30.25. And this thing's... Alright, let's call it in feet. I don't know what the units are. I don't know what the units are, so let's just call it in feet. So it's going to hit 30.25 feet. How long does it take for the rock to reach its maximum height? Well, the x, or in this case t, is going to give us the maximum. It's going to give us the time. All right. So realistically, this should have been t equals. Okay. Realistically, it should have been t equals. So how long does it take? It takes less than 1 second to meet its maximum height. When does the rock hit the ground? Alright, well, for the rock to hit the ground, do we agree the distance, the height here has to be 0? Alright, so let me come down here. So I have 0 is equal to negative 16t squared plus 20t plus 24. Let's divide everything by negative 4. Again, I can do that because it's an equation. So I still have 0 is equal to. Now I have positive 4t squared. I have negative 5t minus 6. Now I could use a quadratic formula, but a quick check. 24 times 6, 4 times 6, excuse me. 4 times 6 is going to give me 24. And you start running through them. If you start to run through them, 3 times 8 is going to give me 24. 8 minus 3 will give me 5. So I'm just going to use the Rosa method to factor. 4t, 4t, the whole thing divided by 4. Signs are going to be different. Alright, signs will be different. The bigger number, this 8, has to take that sign. So the 8 goes there, 3 goes there. Alright. Look at this thing. Nothing, they're not multiples of each other. The only number they're multiples of is 1. Does not help me, so I'm going to cross the 4 out and move it over there. In the meantime, let me rewrite that first factor, because I couldn't do anything with it. Now 4, 8, and 4, they are all multiples of 4. 4t divided by 4 gives me t. 8 divided by 4 gives me 2. 4 divided by 4, 1 and done. Now, set each one of these equal to 0. Now, let's think about this one. If I subtract 3 and then divide by 4, I have t is equal to negative 3/4. Can I have a negative time? No, cannot have negative time. In this case, t equals 2. Alright, so t is equal to 2 seconds. How long does it take for the rock? Oh, excuse me. When does the rock hit the ground? The rock hits the ground in 2 seconds. Alright. The graph of the parabola crosses the x-axis twice. Explain why one of the answers and the other is not applicable. Well, we just talked about that. The x-axis here, alright, is time. Well, we're talking about a real-life type problem. So, real-life problem is for the most part going to be the first quadrant. Alright, so I can care less back here. We're not. I can't go back in time. Alright, we're not. This is not space traveling, alright, or time traveling. Excuse me. We can't time travel. Alright, Back to the Future. Doesn't work here. Alright, make a table and plot. So I just want positive values. Alright. Since this is the maximum, excuse me, this is my line of symmetry here. Alright, this is the highest point, my line of symmetry. I'm not going to make a big deal about this thing because all I want to do, I'm trying to make this easy on myself to graph. I'm going to go by halves. Hopefully you guys, well, let's even go by quarters. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, that would be 1 second. 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 2 seconds. Because I know it's going to hit the ground at 2 seconds. Now I have to figure out what to go by on my my y-axis. Well, the height, the maximum height was 30.25. Alright, maximum height was 30.25. So what could I go by? Well, let's see. What if I went by 5s? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Alright, I can go by 5s. So there's 10, 20, 30. Well, what happens at 0 seconds? Alright, because remember, this is in time, and this is the height. Alright, it probably should have been H for height. The height of this rock. So at 0 seconds, now if you think about it, that's going to give me 0. 0 times anything is 0. 0 times anything is 0. 0 plus 0 plus 24 is simply 24. So at 0, there's 20, there's 25. Just a hair under 25 at 24. Alright. We know at 0.625, that's one of our points, it's going to be 30.25. Oh, sorry. I don't know what just happened. Alright. So, here's half. This is a little bit more than half. So it's going to be just a, come on. It's just going to be a hair over 30. Now, where is it at in 1 second? Alright, plug 1 second in. See what does it get you. Alright, again, just my little cheap calculator. 16 happens to be negative. Times 1 plus 20 plus 24. So I end up with 28. So at 1 second, I'm 28 feet high. There's 20, 25, and oh, come on. Alright guys, sorry, I have no idea what just happened. Let's try this one more time. So 28. Okay, so about right there somewhere. Oh, come on. And then what if I did 1 1/2, alright, or 1.5? Back to the calculator. I have 1.5 squared times 16, happens to be negative, equals plus 20 times 1.5 equals plus 24. So at 1.5 seconds I end up at 18 feet. Alright, 1.5 seconds. So there's 15. Now you could kind of see, what's happening here. Alright. Now I could have picked 1.75. I could have picked a few more, but We're just kind of going through it. What is the starting height of the rock? The starting height, well, was right there. The starting height was 24 feet. Right? So hopefully that all helped. Alright, hopefully these things helped here.